In all of the years of playing Overwatch, you never know what you're going to get when you set up to play competitive. It could be a really great game with really great teammates, or it could be a really bad game with really bad teammates, or it can be a mix of most. But when you get to play the game like this, it makes you feel good to know that you were able to put something together to kind of seal the deal for the team. It kind of brings camaraderie and friendship and all of that stuff together for that little split second, even though it can go back to being the most toxic thing ever in the game. Lo and behold, we pulled it together and we won the game. I told them all I loved them. It was great. Yo, what you know, it's your boy One Hero back on YouTube and super dope duper with the new episode. Now let's go. So I decided to queue in, trying to finish up my tank placements playing Overwatch 2 ranked competitive. If you've been living under a rock, yes, Overwatch 2 has brought some resurgence back into Overwatch, and it's been a really great time for me because for those that don't know, I started streaming in 2019. I had a Dell computer that I bought from freaking Best Buy that could barely do anything besides play games, let alone try to stream them. So this was the game I wanted to launch my streaming journey with, and I never got the chance to. So now being able to stream, create content, share my thoughts, my process, my games, my ups, my downs has been really a goal of mine. So I'm really happy and excited to be able to take this journey into doing this. Playing this game here, I was starting to think that it was going to be a bad one, but we actually were able to pull it together because I, as the tank, started to play a little bit smart. Sometimes I do get a little bit aggressive. I do get protective over the teammates. I do not like watching my teammates die when I could have done something to do it. So I sacrifice myself a lot by getting in the mix when I shouldn't. But every now and then I do take offense to that. Like this Genji here, protected him, no problem. You're not touching my Genji. He may go out there and dash and get clapped around the corner, but that's okay. You're gonna leave these team opens like that? Hit him with a hammer. McCree got sent, or Cassidy, my bad. He got sent, flip-flopped and dropped. We kept moving and grooving. We were finding our ways to pick in between the fights. Even when my shield would get diminished by the other team, I would find ways to play around the payload and play around the corners that were there available to me because it did not leave me open to get attacked. Now, if somebody wanted to push me one-on-one, absolutely, I would say less time. Time has begun. Mortal Kombat, we in there, Jack. But every other now and then I had to realize, again, I'm playing with the Zenyatta. Zenyatta cannot do that much for themselves on the offensive side unless they're just god tier cracked. But I take that into mind when I go back to peel back to help out my team. I wasn't playing with a microphone. Dangerous game to play, I know for sure, but it also helped out a lot just being mindful of the team. Anytime the tank went behind me or I couldn't see the tank, I would turn around and look to see who was behind me, and if I saw that the DPS needed help, I would go up a little bit to do that. Thankfully, the Zenyatta picked up on the fact that I was playing with him, so he stood next to me a lot and was able to allow me to protect him and be able to help manage the front line so that people weren't continuously pushing through. I think sometimes we get in our head that we have to continuously push forward and not realize that somebody's taking advantage of that, especially the Tracers, the Sombras, the Genjis. I mean, heck, even the Widow. Widow's a little tricky to do when you're playing Ryan because he's so grounded on the ground. But I mean, it is what it is, you know. Again, they brought out the Junkrat. The Zenyatta was helping me out a lot, popping his super to help me out, and also just allowing for the Genji to get back in when they had to do things. Here's that massive shatter that I was able to land, and we were able to go through and clean up that whole team for that final push. That Winston jumping out of position, trying to play super aggressive on my back line, I knew for a fact that if he did that, I would trade my team because I had a feeling that they would go back to protect each other to take out his. And in that gamble, honestly, it paid off. I'm pretty sure in higher elos and smarter players are going to take advantage of that situation to wipe out my team and then converge and take me out. So we're going back into the next one here, and what was really cool about this was I noticed immediately they switched up the comp, and what I had to do then at that point was see how I would do in this first engagement. And when I noticed that they switched to the Sombra, that means they were going to try to take my shield away. So I had to think of who I was going to play next. I chose to go with Orisa. With the rework, I don't have to worry about a shield. I had to worry about some of her abilities, but the fact that I could still consistently fire my ammo at other people to oppress them at that time would allow for my teammates to play. And also, again, being a lot smarter in how we're going to play the game, being able to use the corners, use the payload, and those things were allowing for me to still act as if I had a shield and still be able to put out the damage. So yes, I still would get hacked by Sombra and I would not be able to use my other abilities, but that's because they wanted to focus on me being the main one to oppress them. they thought that it was going to work. But again, having the Hanzo, having the other teammates involved, it was able to help out a lot. Now, I made a stupid mistake here thinking that that I was going to be able to block her with my spinning spear, and apparently it didn't work. So now I know the Diva Bomb is something that I can't do. You can javelin it back and push it away, but at that point in time, it was already in the center of us. There was nothing else I really could do. Again, we did a really good job holding this corner, and the really big benefit from this corner was that we have protection on the right and the left. The team was able to go up there to oppress them from the sides and from the front, while I was able to sit there by the payload in the middle and use that little box to my right with that wall. Nobody ever pushed from that right side heavily, because sometimes people will do it, but they don't want to be bottlenecked in between us throwing fire down on them and continuously pushing them back and pushing them back. So we did a really great job in gritting a great hold there, because sometimes that does not work out in our favor, where we would actually have the ability to continuously hold a team there that well. Again, Diva does it again. I took off running. I was not playing this time. And because she did that, counting on her super to take us out again, everybody was smart enough to get the heck out of Dodge on the full tank of gas on that charger, and it left us with another advantageous moment. They, again, were creeping up on maybe less than 30 seconds to try to get this final push, and we were able to hold it down. It was really great to be able to play competitive with teams that wanted to actually win the game. Now here, the Genji did pop his ult, and he did try to go after the Junkrat, but again, the Junkrat was actually pretty clever. They switched to the Zarya. I didn't know how really to counter that without shooting her bubble too much to give her that power surge, but I popped my super here trying to get some extra little kills. We did a big damage. We took out their DPS and the soldier and one of their healers, leaving Zarya on full charge, but we were able to come together to take her out, leaving us to take over the overtime. Genji tried to come through again. We had to shut that down. I know Genjis love to be terrifying when they pop their ultimate, but if you realize that they have a lot less health than you as a tank, you can kind of push up and make it more aggressive. But we were all together. He tried to go through the back line to take out some people. I believe he took out like one person, but other than that, it was a great game. GG's. See you in the next one, everybody. Be great, be you, fly easy. Peace.